the policy to fighting the disease in Guangzhou has been evolving. And I should say, until yesterday, it has changed 10 times. Why? You have to be precisely attack the virus. So you need some policy change. And on March 21st, the first imported connected case was reported in Guangzhou. That is a very serious thing. And I should say, since February, if there is any country targeted, the first was an Asian country. I'm not going to name the name, but a good friend of China also, because at that time, the situation in that country was terrible. So the first target country was a Northeast Asian country. And then, why recently, our Nigerian brothers and sisters felt it. And maybe why we were selected, it is because, according to the statistics, the African friends are very vulnerable group in the fight against the disease. The city have to protect them. Let me give you some numbers. You know 56 for FCT and more than that for Lagos. Let me give you some numbers. Until yesterday, all imported cases in Guangzhou were 119. Among those 119, the majority of them were Chinese. Foreign nationals, 26. Among those 26, from Africa, 19. Among those 19, from Nigeria, 9. That is the case. And until as of yesterday, they reported asymptomatic patients, 60. From Africa, 57. And foreign imported case related local reporting cases, 14. That means the patient was a close contact of an imported case. Among those 14 related cases, China, 7. Foreign nationals, 7. Africans, 7. That means all the foreign nationals are from Africa. Among those 7, Nigeria, 6. We have to protect all the Nigerians for their health, because according to the statistics, they are most vulnerable. So that is the logic. The city is trying to test everyone for the security, for the safety, health of themselves and others. And that is my understanding about the logic. Why FCT? Why Lagos? The government is protecting me well. The government is not discriminating me as a resident here. But I should say, as the minister rightly pointed out, during this process, poor communication or some incidents or some isolated cases, it might happen. And it happened. So after the timely intervention of the minister, of the government, Beijing took it very, very seriously. And during the past days, I think the coordination between Beijing and Guangzhou has been strengthened remarkably. So the effective communication mechanism between the consulates general and the Guangzhou authority has been set up. And the task force to take care of the patients or to sort out the difficulties for some not easy to find accommodation or financial problems, it was there. And the authority made it very clear, zero tolerance for discrimination. Any resident, no matter which country are you from, Chinese or foreign nationals, you cannot you do or say in that way. So generally, I think, with joint efforts, the Chinese authorities from Beijing and Guangzhou, and with the embassy in Beijing and the consulate in general, I believe the legitimate concerns has been addressed and will get addressed in a smooth way. Take the quarantine. And let me show you another number. For those complaints about the quarantine, as I said, the target groups, some countries and some air flights, because by statistics, which are the most vulnerable. So after those precise measures, 15,000 people have been put into quarantine. Among those 15,000, more than 10,000 are Chinese. 4,600 are foreign nationals. And besides Nigerian friends, African friends, there are other 13 countries, nationals in it, including Australia, the United States, Russia. So also from this number, you can see there is nothing as a policy to select this group for discrimination or this or that. It is for the precise fight against the disease. And we appreciate the increasing cooperation from our friends from Nigeria, from Africa, and from other countries. For us, it's super clear. All foreign nationals are treated equally in China. We reject any differential practices. We have zero tolerance for discrimination.
Good day, Africa. I am here this morning to address the African presidents, and I specifically am calling out the President of South Africa, who is the President of the African Union, and indeed all African presidents, that you must decide to either walk in the light of creative altruism or we all perish in the darkness of destructive selfishness. African leaders must demonstrate that they care for Africa. They must also prove to us in this time that they have not been compromised by the Chinese. Our brothers and sisters have been molested, have been insulted, have been harassed, have been maimed in China. And we have not seen any African president coming out to holistically address or call out the president of China. We are not to be treated like animals. The present generation of Africans are not the same generation of Africans that were stolen and taken in slave trade so many decades and centuries ago. We will not allow this to continue. It is an opportunity for African presidents to rally around Africa at this time and defend Africans in China. What we are seeing on the social media and in the mainstream media, the treatment meted on our brothers and sisters across Africa is unacceptable to Africans, it's unacceptable to us in Nigeria. We are using this opportunity to call on African presidents to quickly become born again and begin to take issues that concern Africans as seriously. You must practice what I call African diplomacy, African citizen diplomacy. You must protect Africans anywhere in the world, except if you have all been compromised by China. This is a call on all presidents of Africa, through the instrumentality of the African Union, to wake up from their slumber. I pray the Almighty God will make this whole COVID-19 thing come to an end. We are resorting to prayer. We are resorting to God, who is the supreme controller of the universe, and our belief is that He will rescue us. This day, I remember Mugabe, and I wish Nelson Mandela is still alive. Will he keep silent in the face of obvious obscurity? Will he keep quiet in times like this, in times of vicissitude and vacillation against Africans in China? African presidents, please wake up from your slumber. And I pray the Almighty God to bring this whole pandemic to an end. I also say we must please pray, and we must pray and pray. I use the opportunity to remember the song Martin Luther King sang in mid-60s during the Great March to Washington, D.C. And after singing that song, racism died in America, and the blacks were liberated, and Obama became president, the first black president in America. When Paul and Silas prayed in the prison, there was no freedom. But when they started singing, the prison door opened. All strategies was employed when the battle for the wall of Jericho to come down. But when they sang, the wall of Jericho came down. There's efficacy and power in songs. This morning, if you believe in the efficacy of the Almighty God, if you believe in the supremacy of God, who is the supreme controller of the universe, join me in singing that same song Martin Luther King sang in 1964 during the Great March to Washington, D.C. And I believe God will heal our land, coronavirus, COVID-19 will be defeated, and we will all be happy again. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Aluta continua, Victoria Asata. I am Dino Melaya.